All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth to rule well. Yesterday, when I went out to camp, I went into Jeremiah, I believe it was 51, and as I went into it, or Jeremiah 50, as I went into it, I was kind of going back and forth from the destruction that's going to take place, hastening the day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And as I was going through it, I ended up in the second Esdras 13, and I read it from verse 30, I believe it was around the 39th verse, and I started just reading down from there. But right now I started reading the book of Samuel. I read the first book of Samuel, and I'm reading over the second book of Samuel, because there's always new things that pop out at you. Okay. And as I started going through the book of Samuel, well, there was one part that really stuck out to me. Okay. And almost verbatim, man. It came close to the second Esdras 13. Okay. Almost verbatim, which, it adds its own little spice to it, and it actually further explains what that means. Okay. So I went to 2 Samuel 22, and that's where the part is. So I went over here to see if they have any commentaries on 2 Samuel 22. All right. Because of how extraordinary, it's a Psalm of David. It's a song that David sang. So I was like, well, there has to be some type of commentary on it. And, as I'm reading through this, it has no commentary on what it could potentially mean. All right. It just goes into how David had enemies, and it was around the time of David. But there's no actual commentary of what it could be or line up with Scripture. What it could potentially signify. Okay. So it didn't have a commentary on it. And I'm going to read this right here. It says, 2 Samuel 20:28. Then the earth shook and trembled, and the foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. Okay, so now let me go to 2 Esdras 13 and verse 4. Let me go up. 2 Esdras 13 and 1. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And that's when Yahushua comes back to the spirit and power of Yahweh the Most High, with the thousands and thousands and thousands, all right, of angels that are coming back in a fleet. Okay? Not to flee, but in a fleet. Okay? As in military. The military of the Heavenly Father, man. Verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they all burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it fleeth the fire. It feeleth the fire. Okay, so first they trembled, and then they burned. Okay, wherever he looked, they trembled, and then it burned. Okay, now let me read this. 2 Samuel 22 and 8. The earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven were moved and shook because he was wroth. So when Yahweh Hashem Yahushai comes back, like it says in Isaiah, let me see if I have another Bible here. I don't. Like it says in Isaiah, which actually I have my sword here. Let me just get it from here. Isaiah 47. Okay, and I believe it was right around the fourth verse. Here, Isaiah 47 and verse 4. No, verse 3. Isaiah 47 and 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. And that's talking about Esau, Edom, and the all the lies of the world. It says, I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. You see? So that's the vengeance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. He's wrath. Okay? And that word wrath, when you go into it, chara, which means to burn, kindle, to be hot, furious, to burn, become angry, be kindled. And it talks about how Yahushai's eyes were red. You know? His eyes are red. It says, 2 Samuel 22:9, there went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. Okay? That's simply just talking about the fire that comes out of the chariots, man. You know, these are beautiful times we're living in, man. The things that we're about to see are so surreal. Okay? They're actually so real that it'll seem fake to you, man. It'll seem like you're in a Hollywood movie. And that's exactly why Hollywood made it. Okay? So that you can fall and go up against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, like it says in 2 Ezra 13. So continuing on, it says, verse 5, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And that's the heathen that after World War III, or as while World War III goes on and America's burned, their attention is going to be drawn to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai because he's coming back, you know. And simultaneously, as the missiles are hitting, okay, we're going to be saved by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai at the nick of time, okay. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. Okay, and that's talking about the mountain, the government of Israel. It says, but I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, yet durst fight. You see? So when you jump down and you go into the breakdown, verse 20, it was actually 29 on down. Come astonishment that dwell on the earth. Numerous multitudes shall be gathered together in size. In verse 36, that's talking about Mount Zion, which is the government of Israel. And rebuke wicked inventions, shall lay before them evil thoughts. 2 Ezra 13:39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable, no, Salakia, verse 37. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. Okay? And that tempest, as it goes in 38, it says, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and their torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto me. Okay, so that's the interpretation, that's a destruction that's coming, you know? So when you go back down to 2 Ezra 13 and verse 10, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. You see? And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. And going back to Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay? So in 2 Samuel 22, where it says, then the earth shook and trembled, in verse 8, the foundations of heaven moved and shook, because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. Okay? Darkness was under his feet. Now let me get this in the book of Revelations. Okay? Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not playing, man. And that's why these prophecies are flowing out. Okay? These future prophecies. You know? Because if you don't take hold of these future prophecies that are coming, okay, the only thing that's going to be left for you is destruction. Okay? So this is Revelations 15 and verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them was filled up the wrath of the Most High Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. You see, so he's coming back with wrath, man. He's not coming back with myrrh and happiness and that spirit of rejoicing for the whole world to rejoice. Okay, he's coming back with business. What is it called? With a payback. Okay, verse 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that have gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. Okay, so in 2 Samuel 22 and 10, he bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. That's the destruction that's coming, man. This is a future prophecy, man. For those that say that King David was a king and not a prophet, you're sadly mistaken. Okay? King David was a prophet. All right? And King David even speaks of himself in a future tense here, because King David is going to be saved as well, man. You know, whether he comes back or we're simply going to meet him in the air with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. You know? It says, verse 11, and he rode upon the cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. Let's look up that. He rode, Rakab, to mount and ride. All right, Rakab, to ride, to be riding, to cause, to draw. Okay, upon a cherub, cherubim, an angelic being, a guardian of Eden, as flanking the Most High's throne, as an image form hovering over the Ark of the Covenant, as a chariot of Yahweh. Okay? What are the chariots? The so-called UFOs, man. This is what we're looking forward to, man. And did fly. You see? So those UFOs that you see, those are the chariots of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. And was seen upon the wings, which is kanap, is wing, extremity, edge, winged, border, corner, shirt, wing, extremity. The wings of the wind. All right, the breath, the wind of heaven, quarter, breath, the spirit, okay, temper, anger, impatience, the patience. All right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to come back, man. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. Yahweh thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. Okay? These are the things that are coming, man. You know, I just wanted to make a quick commentary on 2 Samuel 22. Okay, that's talking about the same thing the book of Ezra talks about. Almost verbatim, like I said. You know? I haven't really seen, that there's certain scriptures that do talk about the events that are happening in 2 Ezra 13. But almost verbatim, the 2 Samuel 22, a Psalm of David. All right? This was David prophesying, man. You know? So I hope that was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahasham Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.